but I'll have to do that later. All right. We have been working on, or I've been working on a project for a lady that has this custom Econoline 150. So let me wrap you around the van if you've not seen this van before. So I had this in the shop about a month ago, but this is there we go. So this is a 2000 E-150 that's been customized by a company called Custom Creations. So it has a fiberglass top on it, AC unit. We're going to get to the engine here in a second, but I just wanted to go through the van and just show you what everything looks like. Because I'm done with the upgrades. So right now what I'm doing, making sure I have the key so I don't lose it. So this is back in the 2000s, I guess this is the company that did the van, E-150. This lady, she's a banjo player. She's got some bumper stickers here. But I'll show you what I did. So before I show you what we did, she had this lead acid battery from the original owner that was powering everything, and it was in this plastic box, and it had all kinds of like wild stuff, like this plumbing, plastic, stuff like that. And then where did I lay? There was an inverter too, or I had like a lot of this type of wood, like this stapled wood structure with like a latch to hold the bed down. Anyway, then it had like a little tiny inverter. So what I did was I gutted all that out underneath the bed here. So this is the final project, if you guys are wondering what it looks like. Hey Scott, welcome to the channel. I redid the latch. Now nothing on this van is square, so if you're looking at my install, my stuff is like laser square, and so I had to do a little bit of an offset. And I found this latch, really like. So she originally came to me because she couldn't lift the bed up because there's some gas shocks in there that failed. And then also she couldn't get into her passenger door here. So this handle and all the hardware on the inside had broke and fallen apart. So she was having to go inside, open the door, then go outside the van and get back into the van. So I replaced the shocks, and then day's going pretty good. And then so those are the two shocks. So this is the bed system that somebody put in here. I don't hate it. I like this little angle iron with the two shocks to kind of help assist it. I think it's really simple. You can actually find these replacements on Amazon. There's hundreds of them with these brackets. So thought that was pretty cool. And so there was a stick right here. This was the main way of propping the bed up for I don't know how long. And so what I did was, it needed to be simple but strong at the same time. I wasn't going to do anything fancy like 80-20 or metal related. So I have this really strong piece of, this is from an IKEA bed slat. It's extremely rigid. And you want something thin so it doesn't bow. So I cut it, made a little rest, like a kickstand for it. And so it's just super simple. You just lift this up, and then I made little like two lines right there so that all she's got to do is just put it in between there. And you can see it's just simple. It's just the most simple thing that you could ask for. I cleaned all this stuff up. there was a bunch of holes in the van, and you'll have to check out the live stream to see what's underneath this, because this is finished now. I don't want to open it back up. But essentially what we did is we went with a lead time battery, believe it or not. Will Prouse's DIY Solar YouTube channel recommended this one because it actually has low temperature protection. It's 230 amp hours. And yep, that's the battery. Inside this box, that battery is coupled with a 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter from Renogy, and it also has a DC to DC charger built in it as well. I'm sorry, 2000 watt pure sine wave Renogy inverter charger, combo DC to DC MPPT solar charge controller over here, and then we've got a Blue Sea Systems 300 amp disconnect, battery disconnect. We're charging right now off of shore power. So that plug is plugged in the side of the van. And we're almost topped up. We got about almost 70 amps charge rate right now, which is awesome. Looks like we got about 7 more minutes until this thing's topped off. Pretty cool. I still got the plastic on here, the protective thing. I'll let her take that off. And then this is the inverter controller. Now you may ask, why did this not go inside the van to where she can use it from there? Well, there's nowhere in this van to mount anything. I know that sounds crazy, but there's just, I would have to build something to mount it, and that really wasn't in the scope of the project. So the way that she's going to use this is she's going to get ready for her trip. She's going to turn this thing on. It runs her a 110 volt fridge that's on the inside. And she just wants to be able to run that fridge continuously. So with 230 amp hours, we should be able to get about a week run time with that fridge. Depending on the temperature, that will fluctuate greatly. However, she wants the van turned on, the fridge to run. She's going to be using shore power every time that she gets to a campsite, so we're always going to be connected to power. I also gave her a brand new Furrion 30 amp box, because what she had before was I didn't think it was safe. I mean, it was just falling apart, so I added that to there. Then she's got a converter so that she's going to household power. So she can go into a campground, but at the same time, she can plug into household power. Obviously, I've got it plugged into household power. Okay, this is the point of the live stream, all right? All that stuff is simple. Make the refrigerator run off the inverter, have the AC run. There was already these outlets wired here, and another outlet wired right back there. As you can see, this is what ran the fridge. Okay, this is what got me for a second. There's this random switch in the van, and I couldn't find to where it went to anything, and I was like, man, what is this switch? And so I just disconnected it and just went about my business. Come to find out, this switch actually controls not only the voltage sense for the AC. So when I unplugged this, the AC didn't work, so that was a rabbit hole I went down. But not only that, check this out. This is the master switch. It's got 2 on positions. In the middle, it will allow this thing to run. If you push it down, it will still allow this to run, but guess what it does? This is what turns on the whole entire custom creations part of the van, which includes the reading light, mood lights, and TV VCR. I couldn't find that anywhere. But now check this out. The mood lights are working again. So she has not been able to have this work. And so those work. The upper lights work. The AC now still operates. And the TV works now. So, yeah, finally found out what this thing does. Unfortunately, this next position, up, I have no idea what that is. There's no other wires that I disconnected to make that a thing or not a thing. So, yeah, that is the only mystery. Okay, so let's hop out to the front of the van and show you what we disconnected. So she has her battery here. So what we disconnected for her was this right here. So this is a solenoid activated battery combiner. So basically what it does is I've completely disconnected it because this wire went here and then that went to the back of the van. But now we have DC to DC. So this is completely unwired and it's just wired here to the battery terminal. And then I just fully charged the battery, cleaned all the terminals up. She's good to go. I'll actually put this nut back on here. Not that she's going to use this in the future, but you never know. This wire goes to this, and I think this is an ignition 12-volt sense, this wiring harness from Ford. Since everything's disconnected, I'm not really worried about it. So that's just going to stay happy like it is. It's not messing anything up. All the voltages have been checked. So this now goes to the back of the van. And powers the DC to DC charger that's underneath here. And then we've got the big guy right here. I don't know if you can see in there. Also, we've got a terminal fuse. And we've got this right here. This is the fused line for that switch. So I put a 7.5 amp fuse in here. It had a 15 amp, but I just have 7.5 in the shop. I'll get an extra 15 later in case there's any issues. But I've been working this, and I don't have any nuisance fuse failing. So this is for that AC and interior light, mood light, stuff like that, TV. This wire down here is the 12-volt sense for the shunt, the Renogy shunt. And then we've got a 300 amp terminal fuse, which I recommend everybody puts on their batteries. They're expensive, but you can't always rely on the BMS inside the battery to work for you. All right, good news is we've got our battery monitor all good to go. So what you want to do is you don't want to fully charge the battery before you set everything up. It's good for the battery shunt to see that it can go from a certain voltage to an upper voltage, because now what it's doing is we're kind of quote unquote like top balancing right now, which pretty much means we're at the top. We're getting ready to be close to the top of our charge here in just a little bit. But what's nice is if the battery meter, if the voltage meter, if the battery monitor hits 100, that's good, because now what's happening is we're going to finish charging. So basically think of it as like a level indicator where you hit the level and then the water is filling above it. So as long as it's above it, it's always going to be at 100. And then all of a sudden it'll see when it tops off the true 100% charge. And then after that, once we pull from it, it'll have a more accurate reading. Because it says 100% now, but it's probably at like 90% or something like that. And And then what I need to do is go in, I have to figure out how to, I need to change this to 280 amp hours. Blue Sea Systems disconnect switch, I really like it. You can flush mount it, you can outside mount it, or you can recess it like I did, because this door, our clearances are really tight. So as you can see, we are super tight, but trust me, it is not touching. It's like 1/4 of an inch from touching. This button is like 1/4 of an inch from that. And then same here with this latch. That was super close. So you can see, it's just, this is a foam pad. So, I mean, we were right at the limit there. But let's end up over here. This is the final thing that I rewired. And then this is a Progressive Dynamics AC controller for the 110 volt power. The first was a 30 amp breaker that supplies power to the rest of the breakers. And then here and here, we're going to turn these on. Those are our two outlets. So our first outlet, and then the second one is the fridge outlet. And then this third one is the rooftop AC. If we wanted to use this as a 12 volt system, there is a way to wire this to where it converts the 110 into 12, but that's very inefficient. So since we only have 2 circuits, I just directly wired them to the positive terminal of the battery and fused them appropriately. And yeah, so if you guys want to know, this is the company. If you want just a simple, straightforward, kind of old school RV power converter, Progressive Dynamics, and this is the PD4135K. I don't use this one in my builds. This is the one that came with her van. I use the Blue Sea Systems. Although I do, because the Blue Sea Systems is super tiny. However, this thing was so easy to connect and get breakers for that I may change my mind. So, might change the mind. If you're wondering also why there's so many weird screws at different places, this is solid 1/2 inch birch, Baltic birch. It's very dense. I'm using Craig screws here to basically make up the structure of this box. So it doesn't have any joints or anything like that. The only one at the bottom is like something to support it, basically for this bed thing. But this thing is super, super strong. You could sit on it if you want to, but it's not really designed. This was also not in the scope of the project, but I have to have things look nice if they come out of the shop. And so I decided to upholster it and make this box. I've gotten really quick at making this. So 3 panels cut and upholstered. It only probably took me just a few hours. But we did have to trim a little bit of this off. Other than that, this is a very simple build. This, I didn't get into this. This is some weird part of the heating system. We might address that later. The main thing for her was the shocks. She couldn't get to her stuff. This thing was too heavy. That stupid pole was not here to hold it up. There was all kinds of wood in here, so it was just really hard for her to get stuff in and out of the van. So for example, they had this, it was like this. So it was, I don't know, I don't know why. So took that out. It's nice and clean. Inside the van is nice and clean. There's a bunch of these holes. So I sealed all these holes up. There's a huge plastic pipe in here cut through the floor. So I used some expanding foam to seal that. Oh, what is this? There's all kinds of stuff. Okay, never mind. I'm looking for a white wire. There's a white wire that goes to that switch, and I still have not been able to find it, that switch. So anyway, when she's done loading up, she can just take this, pop it down, bring the bed down. That secures the bed. Still charging strong, 69 amps, doing great. All right. And now we can turn the fridge on. We'll let that run. And I think that is it for today. All right, guys, if you like this video, if it was helpful, comment below, like it, subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content. I go live, so this is the live studio setup here in the shop. There's about a 5 or 6 part series on this actual install of this power system, so go back, watch that. It's on a live stream. And that's going to do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next. Oh yeah, 2 things. I've got a free DIY van build cheat sheet. It's got 3 years worth of Amazon parts on it if you guys are wanting to jumpstart your van conversion. If you want to just see what list of parts I use in the shop, the DIY van build cheat sheet is completely free. All you got to do is put your email address in. They'll send it right to your inbox. It's basically an Excel sheet that I put together. Something I reference in the shop when I'm ordering parts, but it's got over 250 items. It might be helpful to use, so if you want to check it out, go to vanbuilderhq.com, link in the description below, DIY van build cheat sheet. It's completely free. I do have a product for sale. It is the DIY van build blueprint course. So I put together a DIY van building course that you guys can purchase today. Link is in the description below, and it takes you through the whole process. How to buy a new van, a used van, low, medium, high roof, 4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive differences. I walk you through layout design. We go through power system, off-grid power system design. Then we also go into a bunch of other stuff. There's an exclusive video on how to buy a used van and what to look for that's not available anywhere on the internet, but it's in that course if you guys want to check it out. And then, yeah, check it out. There's a little preview on the website, vanbuilderhq.com. Then click on course. All right, that's going to do it for today. Thanks so much for watching, and look forward to seeing you guys in the next video or live stream. See you later.